Dante, and we've gone through the entire book in the year with the three comedies, which are, what are they, Daniel?
They are the Inferno, which is the journey through hell, the Purgatorio, which is the journey through purgatory, and Paradiso, which is the journey through the heavens.
It's jam-packed with an amazing amount of both worldly, and I don't mean that just in a negative, with worldly through heavenly concepts and ideas. And Daniel, I am just amazed at how he has latched on to not an intuitive way, but more of a discerning way of thinking about all of this all the way through. And then it's so fun because this was Dante came up through the Western Roman Catholic Christianity, and so there is that element in there. But it's really fun to juxtaposition that back and forth between that and the Orthodox faith. And there are a lot of great similarities that I noticed as well. And then we would bounce some of the things off Father James as well when we weren't really quite sure of things. And I'm sure other things we were sure of, but we were wrong. But we'll continue to go. So Daniel, what to recite? Go ahead, Daniel. Tell him what you're going to do.
Canto 1 of the Inferno. Midway in our life's journey, I went astray from the straight path and woke to find myself alone in a dark wood. How shall I say what a wood it was? I never saw so drear, so rank, so arduous a wilderness. Death could scarce be more bitter than that place, but since came to good, I shall recount all I found revealed there by God's grace. How I came to it, I cannot rightly say, so drugged into the sleep I had become when I first wandered there from the true way. But at the far end of that valley of evil, whose maze had set my very heart with fear, I found myself before a little hill, and lifted my eyes, its shoulders glowing with the sweet rays of that planet whose virtue leads men straight on every road. And the shining strengthened me against the fright, whose agony had wrapped the lake of my heart through all the terrors of that piteous night. Just as a swimmer, who found his shore from perilous seas, should turn to memorize the wide waters of his death, so did I stare down that pass that no man had ever left alive. And there I lay to rest, till calm and breath had returned to me. Then I started up that dead slope at such pace. Each footfall rose above the last, and lo, almost at the beginning of the rise, I found myself before a spotted leopard, all tremor and flow and gaudy pelt. And it would not pass, but stood so, blocking my every turn, that time and again I was on the verge of turning back to that sunless waste. This fell at the first widening of the dawn, as the sun rose, Aries with those new stars rose to like the new creation. Thus the holy hour and sweet season of commemoration did much to arm my fear of that bright murderous beast. Yet not so much when I shook with dread at the sight of a great lion that broke upon me. Raging with hunger, its head held high as if to strike a mortal terror into the very air. And down his track a she-wolf drove upon me. She seemed a starved horror. She seems a rack for avarice, gaunt and craving. Oh, many a soul she has brought to endless grief. She brought such a heaviness upon my spirit at sight of her savagery and desperation that I died from every hope of that high summit. And like a miser, eager in acquisition, yet desperate in self-reproach, when fortune should turn to the hour of his loss, all tears of attrition, thus I waver back, the beast pushing herself against me bit by bit, till I slid back into that sunless waste. And at the hour of my soul's ruin, a presence gathered before me on the discolored air, that of one who had seemed hoarse from a long silence. And I cried on that friendless waste, "Have pity on me, whatever thing you are, whether shade or living man." And it replied, "Not a man, though a man I once was. My blood was Lombard, both my parents mountain, and I was born, though late, sub Julio, and bred in Rome under Augustus, in the noon of the false and lying gods. I was a poet, and sang of Anchises' noble son, who came to Rome after the burning of Troy. Are you then that Virgil and fountain of purest speech?" My voice grew tremulous. "Glory and light of poets, may love's apprenticeship which I poured out on your heroic verses serve me well. For you are my true master and first author, the sole maker from whom I drew breath of that sweet style, whose measures have brought me honor. See there, immortal sage, the beast I flee. For my soul's salvation, protect me from her, for she has struck a mortal terror through me. He replied, he must go by another way, he who wishes to avoid the mad beast that fleers, for she tracks down all, kills all, and knows no glut. But in eating she grows hungrier than she was. She will mate with many beasts, and will mate with more, before the greyhound comes to track her down. And he will not feed on loot nor lands, but love and honor shall make straight his way. He shall rise between Fetro and Fetro, and in him shall be the resurrection and the new day of that sad Italy, for which Nissus died, and Turnus, and Euryalus, and the maid Camilla. He shall track her through every nation of sick pride, till she is driven back to hell, from whence envy first sprung her upon the world. Therefore, for your soul's salvation, I think it best that you follow me, and I will be your guide through an eternal palace. There you shall see the ancient spirits tried in endless pain, as each bemoans the second death of the soul. Next you shall see upon a burning mountain souls in fire, yet content in fire, knowing that whensoever it may be, they shall yet mount into their blessed choir. To which, if you should still wish to climb, a worthier spirit than I shall be sent to be your guide. For the King of Time, who reigns on high, bids me not to enter there. For in living I rebelled against his law. He rules the waters, the land, and the air, and there he holds his court, his city, and his throne. Oh, blessed are they that he chooses. And I to him, poet, by that God to you unknown, lead me from this present ill and worse to dread, and be my guide to St. Peter's gates, and through the sad halls of hell. And he then followed, and moved ahead in silence, and I followed where he led.